Welcome to Jill on Money, powered by The Compound. We are here trying to answer financial questions and really listen to your stories because I am a certified financial planner, but more importantly, I am a voyeur, and I am joined by another certified financial planner, my executive producer, Mark Talercio, also a voyeur.
Hello, Jill.
You know, I was thinking back when we had a sponsored podcast.
Yeah.
And the sponsor was always like, you've got to have a big name guest. And we would have these guests on and authors, and they would suggest people. And it was never as interesting as you guys. That's what I would tell you. Never as interesting. So if you are contemplating a big financial change, if you're thinking about doing something different in your life, then we would love to hear from you. Just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button. We'll get your note. Don't forget to check the box that says that you would come on the air live with us, which is the most fun. And while you're on the website, you can check out our other programs, the blog, resources. You can sign up for the free weekly newsletter, all sorts of things. Today, we are joined by Shannon, and Shannon is joining us from Washington State. So, Shannon, welcome. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you. How about yourself?
Great. What is going on besides that you are not sleeping well? Tell us. We know that because we talked to you right before we came on the air. Why are you not sleeping well, Shannon? You're young and healthy.
Well, I think I have a couple of things. First of all, is I keep hearing about these milestones. 3 times at 45, 5 times at 50, and 48. And I don't see myself getting to that 5-time marker at 50, which makes me think I'm never going to get to that 10-time marker at 60. And I put into my 401k, I invest, but I just don't see the path.
Okay. Those rules of thumb can completely make you nutty. So it may not apply to you. So can you try with us to push that to the side? And let's talk about what is going on for you. And then maybe we can help you get where you want to go and help you get a better night's sleep tonight. Wouldn't that be better? Yes. So you said you're 48, right?
Yes.
And are you partnered, single, married? What do you got?
I'm married. We have one child, a senior in high school, with a college savings that I think he's only going to use probably about half of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just looking at his in-state options, or else he decides he's a senior. So if he decides to go on for his master's or further education, obviously that could change. But for his bachelor's, based off his current options, I only see him using about half.
Oh, wow. So how much is in the plan?
A little over 100,000.
Okay, got it. All right. And you're married, and how old is your spouse?
47. Our finances are kept separately. So he's not as diligent or worried about retirement as I am. So we have separate bills and separate retirements, and we may not retire at the same time.
Okay, fine. So how do you want to deal with this, Mark? Should we just leave the spouse out of it?
I think I would.
All right. So Shannon, how much do you earn?
Roughly around 200,000 a year.
Okay. And are you contributing? You said you're contributing to retirement. So is that a pre-tax? Is it a Roth? What do you got going in retirement?
So I have my 401k that I max out. My employer also contributes. So they contribute maybe another 11,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
I max out my HSA as well. So my health savings account.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been doing the Roth the last 2 years. I'm just beyond that income limit. And I'm not sure about the backdoor Roth of how comfortable I feel on that. I don't want to get in a tax situation. And in addition to that, I know it's not retirement, but to me, it's a part of my longer goal to reduce expenses. I've been trying to pay down my mortgage, and I've actually this year upped my payment to a double payment for my mortgage just to try to get it paid off quicker.
Oh, you're full on driving yourself crazy. I got this now. Okay. Now I've diagnosed it. How much money is in your 401k, Shannon?
So in my 401k, I have roughly, just pulling it open now. I have roughly 350 in my 401k.
Okay.
I
And
also have a pension.
hold on, but we'll do the pension in a second. How much is in the Roth?
Between the Roth and the IRA, do you want both together? Not much, like 90,000.
I love when people say that. It's not that much. It's 90 grand. Okay. And the HSA?
The HSA probably around 14,000.
Okay. Great. Phenomenal. Okay. Just phenomenal. Now, tell us about the pension. What is the bogey? Like, how old do you have to be to claim the pension, and what would the payout be?
So I've looked at it a couple of different ways to retire at normal 65. If if I have survival with 50% benefits as of right now, it'd be around $970. I also have a cash out option that would allow me to cash out as well.
What would the cash out be? Is that at 65 or is that at a different age?
I think it's at 65.
Okay.
So it would be, just looking at my notes, it'd be about 140,000 cash out.
But I mean, we have to be a little bit concerned on the cash out. Because you've brought it up that you're married to somebody who might, like, if God forbid, you were to pass away, would not necessarily be great at managing that 140 grand. So maybe the 50% survivor would be a better deal. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there as a possibility. So does your pension, do you have the kind of job where you are also eligible for Social Security?
Yes.
Do you know what your full retirement age Social Security benefit is by any chance?
I don't.
Okay. She makes 200 grand. What should I use, Mark?
I don't think it's going to be less than 3,500 a month.
That's what I was thinking, 3,500. Okay. And Shannon, do you have any brokerage account, like a taxable brokerage account?
I do. I have a few stocks and mutual funds, etc. So for that, I have roughly 50,000, and I also have another 20 or so thousand in crypto.
Okay, got it. And how about just plain old money in the bank, like safe, boring money?
I keep a market fund at my local bank for emergencies that usually has 25,000.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this house that's driving you bananas. Poor Shannon. She's really making herself nuts. How much is the house worth?
Oh, probably about 900,000, give or take.
Is this a house you guys want to stay in, like, for a while?
Yep, this is the forever home.
Okay. How much is the outstanding mortgage amount?
220.
What is the interest rate? And let's take a beat before you say this, because Mark's about to drop a little bit of a anxiety attack. What is the interest rate on that mortgage?
4.475.
4.475. Okay. I mean, not great, but
it's not 2.75.
It's not 2.75, but it's not 6.75. Shannon, what else do we need to know about you before we slap you around and make you feel better?
I have no outstanding debt as far as credit cards or other things like that, but I do have a solar loan. I installed solar panels recently. I will be getting roughly probably about 12,000 back this year from my solar loan from the government. I plan on using that to put down my mortgage because my solar loan.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Stop with the mortgage pay down a second. All right, hold on. How much longer do you really want to work? Do you want to work till 65? Like, what's your goal?
In an ideal world, I'd love to be able to have the option to retire early, like 58, but may still work to 65 to just have a better lifestyle or inheritance for my son.
Now let's talk about that lifestyle. Forgetting about your crazy mortgage pay down, what is your real expense desire for, like, right now, what are you spending on a monthly basis? But don't include the mortgage pay down.
Don't include the mortgage pay down.
No, just like the regular mortgage amount, like your regular mortgage. Like if I looked at your monthly bills without doing your double payments on your mortgage, and like, what do you need to live on and have a good life?
So without doing the payments on my mortgage, it'd be roughly $5,000 a month.
Mark?
But that's not including things like vacation or travel or things like that. That's just the monthly, whatever.
So let's add this. Let's add in the good stuff. Is it 6 or 7? Do you take a $12,000 vacation? 15,000? Like, should I say it's $7,000 a month for your expenses?
Sure.
I mean, sure, yes, or like, is it really more like 7?
Yes, and I would say going into retirement, I don't for my work situation, I don't get to pay for a car. So going into retirement, I'm gonna have to have a pay for a car and things of that nature.
Okay, okay. So Mark, how do you think Shannon's doing right now? She's only 48. What do you think?
It's you and I both know that she's doing a great job.
You're doing such a good job. What is this pressure? Do you know those numbers that say 3 and 5 and 10? You know what they don't account for? They don't account for the fact that you have a pension plan. They don't account for the fact that you've already saved a ton of money. They don't account for the fact that you have a boatload of equity in your home and it's going to get paid off pretty fast. And they also certainly don't account for the fact that even though you're married to someone who might not be good with money, there is other income coming in. You're not paying for all of these things by yourself. I know that, right? And how old did you say your spouse was? 37 or 47?
47.
Okay. So like, how much do they make?
He makes around 80,000 a year.
I mean, it's not nothing. It really isn't. I feel pretty strongly that you would be far better off taking the money that you are putting down on the mortgage and giving yourself a little bit more of a brokerage fund, because if you want the choice, the option to retire at 58 or 60, you're going to want some money outside of the retirement environment. And you're going to want some more money that is not locked into the equity of your home. Like, it may be great to have that paid off, and it will get paid off. I mean, I don't know when you bought the home, like probably a few years ago.
Yeah, I took money out for a remodel, so that's been my challenge. If I continue on my current payment path, I'll have it paid off in 5.5 years.
And the regular, like the actual term would be like 10 years from now, 20?
No, like 20 years from
Well,
now.
I mean, you're still using the deduction. It's still there for you. But like, you see what the problem is, that you pay off this mortgage, right? Let's just say it's 5.5 years from now, and you don't have the 220 grand, right? It's now gone because you've paid that off. The problem is that you have an asset that's growing that you want to stay in. You don't want to sell that asset. Like, if you said to me, of course we're selling this, who cares? Then you have the equity. But we're not even putting that in the equation, because we need to focus on the 350 that's in the 401k, the 90 that's in the Roth. But I need that brokerage account built up, no doubt. And I think what's fascinating to me is that you probably at $7,000 a month, okay, in today's dollars, let's just like bring it back to today's dollars. You probably have 4,500 of that $7,000 coming in through the pension and Social Security. Okay. And then all we need to do is have an account that's built up and invested over the long term for the next 20 years that we can actually have grow. Your house could grow and double in value. It's of no use to your retirement.
I was just playing with the numbers, and just based on Shannon's numbers, I'm just forgetting the partner. For the next 10 years, if you invest properly, and that includes, probably getting rid of the crypto and
let her keep the stupid crypto. I don't care.
And you're investing $35,000 a year, which you are through your 401k and your company match, in 10 years, you're going to have about $1.4 million, which, is going to generate you a large chunk of what you need, plus the pension. And I'm not even counting your partner. So no reason to be freaking out.
Absolutely no reason. And I think that the reason why companies and financial companies, they'll put out those rules of thumb, is to really just get people focused on the fact that they're underfunding their retirement, which I get. Like, it does work. Fear works. But sometimes it can be disarming and demoralizing, especially to someone like you. You're super duper responsible, which is awesome. But you are driving yourself a little crazy because you are saving a lot of money. And if we could just get you to stop paying down the mortgage, which we may or may not be able to do, I understand that. But I want to be clear that if you keep paying down the mortgage, in 5.5 years from now, you're mortgage free, you will have to take all of that same money and pour it into your brokerage account. You will. Because you will probably not have the option to retire at 58 at that point. That will be you'll be robbed of that option. You're going to need more money putting to work and working for you. 58, you retire if you're 58 or 60, honest to God, We're talking about 30 or 40 years in the future. You're young. You have a long life expectancy. All this stuff is great news. And I think that that if you can give yourself a break, cut yourself some slack, get a good night's sleep, you don't have to drive yourself crazy. Make the minimum payment, not the minimum, just make your required payments on the mortgage. Let's get this kid through school. Let's see where you land. And if all of a sudden it's 5 years from now and things are great and you call me back and you're like, Jill, things are so awesome. I have all this cash flow. My husband has found religion and he's making money and he's pouring money into the account with us. Now can we pay off our mortgage? Sure. But let's give you some options. So when you said to me the option to retire, that was my real key. That was the one statement that made me think we have got to get you to move the money that's going down as the extra payments of the mortgage into the brokerage account. Does that make sense to you?
It does. It doesn't. It's hard emotionally to give up on that. But
I
yes,
know. But what if you just like 5 years from now, we can find out again. By the way, one other thing about your senior in high school, who's only going to use probably half the money. So you know that there's a new rule about 529 plans that if you can roll as long as it's open for 15 years, you'll be able to roll 35 grand of that into a Roth.
Not all at once.
Not at once, over time. The same, what is it? I can't remember.
It's whatever the limit is that year for a Roth IRA contribution.
So it'll be, but you'll be able to make a nice contribution into a Roth IRA if that money is not used.
Is that into my Roth or a Roth for him?
Him. Sorry. He gets it.
That's good. It's still investing for his future, and it puts him on the right path.
Absolutely. Now, okay, this is a testy kind of question or a touchy question. Do you and your spouse, this very lovely man who's irresponsible with money, do you guys have any sort of prenup documents or anything that's down on paper? Do you love him so much? You're just like, he's a screw up, but he's not, I'm not at risk. Like, I'm just a little worried.
So we've been together since high school.
Oh, no way.
So no, I have nothing on paper.
Okay. Been together since high school. What do you think of that, Mark?
Well, do you have your estate plan in docs? You have nothing down on paper. Do you have your estate plan done?
That's probably an area we need to be better at.
Okay, let me be clear. The biggest risk to you right now is the fact that you have no estate planning done. And we have no idea whether he's going to pull the plug or not, because he sounds like he's a little bit of a mercurial human being. So, if you want your plug pulled, you better find like a sibling who will do it. Get your estate planning done. What about insurance, life insurance? Got any of that?
I do. I have probably it's that term where it's a small amount. I have it for another 10 years, I think, at $27 a month.
Okay. That's fine. And what's the death benefit?
I think it's like 600,000.
Okay. That's good. Just you really don't care. I mean, your kid's already like really taken care of. So that's the good news. Mark, what else?
I have some additional work too, but it's maybe another 400,000.
Okay. Well, listen, get your estate planning done. Stop paying extra on the mortgage. Redirect the money into the brokerage account. Mark wants you to sell the crypto. I'm going to let you keep the crypto. I don't care. Mark, is there anything else that Shannon needs to do to get a good night's sleep?
No, I was going to ask you, what are the odds that she stops paying down the mortgage?
Let's think about this. I do love statistics. I would say it's 50-50 right now. You're not buying it.
I will say 40-60.
All right. 40. You will not. 60, you will. No, it's the other way around.
Yes.
I know. I think it's 50-50. I feel like Shannon's like all over it. And she said the magic word, which she knows it's emotional. So once I've gotten through the financial, that's easier.
And just keep doing what you're doing and ignore those rules of thumb.
Yeah. Call us if you need something, then we'll be able to figure out from like really what you should be doing. Okay.
Thank you.
And if you really don't like your son, forget the Roth IRA and just take that money.
Oh, she likes him. She likes him. I think she likes him. All right, thanks. By the way, if you are like Shannon and you're driving yourself crazy and you're so hyper-focused on paying down your mortgage, some people, it does make sense. But for a lot of you, it does not make any sense. Liquidity is the key, my friends. Having access to your money, that's where your options are. And if you really want a lot of options, you should buy my book, The Great Money Reset, because it's on our website, JillOnMoney.com. If you would like to join us, that's where everything lives. You can just send us a note through the Contact Us button. And don't forget that when you are on the website, you can check out our service called Jill on Money Live, a subscription service, just $35 for an entire year of Jill and Mark, even more. It's like more cowbell, Mark. More of us. You'll have access to quarterly live webinars and special video and sometimes audio content that lives behind that very, very, very low paywall. Anyway, we really do thank you so much for joining us. And we thank Duncan and Daniel here at the compound and everybody at the compound who helps make this show happen. Please do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.